Let's have a conversation.
So you literally were one of my very first followers. And then when you followed me and I, followed back, I was like, this dude is cool. Like,
if they say talk to your manager, you just say, you know what, talk to the hand. You don't need to be on my podcast. But yeah, dude. Yeah, you do a great job.
Thank you. I always get a kick out of talking with you on Patreon. You have a really good, view on it.
That wasn't planned.
You know what? But I like this Canadian.
Well,
like this one.
well, thank you. I appreciate it.
What's up, everybody? Sorry about the camera. Camera looking kind of wild. Okay, that's better. So, I haven't been on here for a while. As you can hear, I sound sick again because I got sick again somehow. I just have not been able to stay healthy this year. I don't know why. But I'm here. I'm able to do everything else that I need to do, but I use up all my resources to do my job, my 9 to 5, my other responsibilities, and finding the time and the energy, especially while sick, to do this has been hard. But I have so many things backed up that I'm trying to just get these out before it becomes things that I just don't get to at all. Now, something that everybody knows that I started doing probably about maybe 2 years ago now was the first time I ever went to an event, but everyone knows that follows my page that I go to these events. I go to them far less frequently now than what I used to, because I just feel like the Big Brother one, I kind of like going to the Big Brother one because there's so many people from so many different shows. But the challenge ones, I've slowed down. The Survivor ones, I slowed down. This Survivor one, I was not planning to go to. But then at the last minute, I saw this flyer that had Cirie and Jared on the flyer. So I was like, you know what? That would be a cool opportunity. Meet them, talk to them about my podcast. But I've learned by now that you even going there and seeing them in person is like maybe a 50% chance of them agreeing to be on your podcast. And even after they agree, it's like a 25% chance after they say yes that they're actually going to follow through. Because I had many people tell me, oh, yeah, I'd love to do that. I followed up with them multiple times and it just never happened. So really, at this point, I just go to get some footage and have a good time. So this spot that they have in New York City is called the Ainsworth. And they started going to the Ainsworth, I think, last year's Big Brother premiere might have been the first time they were there. And that was actually a change of location. And that's where Azah had her Big Brother premiere party that had that cool menu that I showed everybody, that had all these customized items on it. It had some amazing African food that I purchased. I like the location because it is a 7-8 minute walk from 32nd Street, Penn Station, so I don't have to worry about taking my car. Anytime I know something's within a block or two of Penn Station, I will just hop right on the railroad. 30-minute ride takes me right there, get off, do my 8-minute walk, and I'm right in the building. I had planned to go there a little earlier. I think they said doors open 5:30. And the event was supposed to be 5:30 to 1 p.m. I got off work pretty late. I was so tired that day. I think I took a nap. The show started, though, the actual Survivor show started at 8. But anybody who has been to like those packed premiere parties at these locations, at these venues, knows that you pretty much have to watch it back when you get home, because it is crazy crowded. and loud in there. So you can see what's going on, but you can't really hear too good. So I already knew that. I wasn't there to hear anything. I was just there to meet some of these people and see what happens. I didn't meet too many people though, but I did definitely meet Jared, Sari. I already had met Izzy before. I met Katora from last season Survivor. I met James. No, not James. Why did I call him James? Phil. Phil from the challenge the Squid Games, the challenge. I met Johnny Fairplay, and I believe, I mean, I saw some other people, of course, but a lot of them are repeat people that always come to these things. So I already knew everybody else that I met. That's why I'm not particular. Like I met, James. I did meet a James. I met James from Survivor, but I had already met James before. So that's why I didn't mention him. So I might be giving away a little secret for anyone who actually lives in New York and attends these things. But I learned this from the Big Brother party by accident last year, the Big Brother premiere party. The one place that is easy to meet all these people and get one-on-one discussions with them is this hallway that they have leading to the bathroom, because everyone is going to go to the bathroom at one of these events. And by happenstance, I went to the bathroom when I was at the Big Brother premiere. I came out, and then all of a sudden I saw all these people from the cast just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I was like, let me just stand here and have these conversations here, because when you try to have those conversations like in the midst of the crowd, there's a big crowd of people and it's hard to actually pull them away from the crowd and have a conversation with them, excuse me, one-on-one. But in that back area, it's quiet. They're by themselves usually, and yeah, that's where I saw Sari. I didn't have to pull her away from anyone. There was like a couple of people that she was talking to back there, but it wasn't really much of anything. Like 2 or 3 people that were in the bathroom with her came out of the bathroom with her, and they were having a discussion with her. And then I spoke to her. It was pretty brief. I understood that, and she was probably trying to get back to wherever she was, the VIP area. And all I said was, I was like, hey, I've been a big fan, of Survivor, The Traitors, most recently Big Brother. But I was like, looking at you on Big Brother, you looked like you were having a miserable time. Was it as miserable as it looked? And she was like, whatever it looked like on TV, it was more miserable than that. She said, I hated Big Brother. I would never go back, not for a celebrity Big Brother, not for a Big Brother reindeer games. I'm done with that game permanently. Like, I would never do Big Brother again. I'm grateful for the experience and everything, getting to play with my son, but Big Brother is not my thing. And the second thing and the last thing I got to ask her, because she was out of there pretty quick, but I told her, I was like, what are your real thoughts on Jag? I was like, it looked like you and Jag had a good relationship and then it turned sour. Like, what are your thoughts on Jag? And she was like, yeah, that is what it was. She said, I loved Jag. She was like, I was very close to Jag at one point in the house, but then when he came back and as the numbers started dwindling down, she said he had this arrogance about him that he walked around with, that he carried himself with, that was very like unbecoming of him. And she said it was a big turnoff. And she said anybody could have sat in that final 2 chair with him, next to him, and she said she would have voted for the other person. So that was that. And then she said, do you want a picture? I took a picture with her and that was it. I mean, I saw her again. I spoke to her again a little bit outside, towards the end of the event, but the majority of my conversation with her was inside. And she was very nice. I mean, both in speaking to me, but also like watching her speak to the other fans. She was extremely nice. The person that I spoke to the longest was Mr. Jared. I spoke to Jared, and I was actually pretty surprised at my conversation with him. I mean, I've heard Jared interviews, I've heard him on Twitter Spaces, and a lot of people act like the things that he's saying in those places and spaces are inauthentic. I never really knew one way or another. I'm not like he's authentic or he's inauthentic. I did think at one point the way that he's jumping out, answering certain questions is like he was prepped for that. But in speaking to him, he's pretty consistent. And I felt like there was authenticity to what he was saying. So, first, he spoke about being the only black man casted on this season of Big Brother, on season 25 of Big Brother, how that was kind of a setup. Then about how it was for him, being the son of a reality TV legend who's been on all these shows and having the twist. So there was just many things stacked against him. And he was like, listen, I know I'm not perfect. I know that I was not perfect on the show. I'm not going to misquote him, but the gist of what he was telling me, which I have a lot of it on video. I put some of it up, a little bit of it up. The gist of what he was saying is everybody is entitled to their opinions. And he was just like, you learn things about yourself when you go on a national TV show. He said, this is basically my first experience on national TV. And I did things that I am proud of. I did things that I'm not proud of. There's people that wouldn't have liked me no matter what I did, type of thing, which is true. And he was like, the best that I could do. He said, I got off of the show. I reviewed everything. I listened to everybody. And he said, some people might not rock with me because of my words and actions on the show. Some people might rock with me. Some people have become my fans. And he's like, I'm fine with all of that. He's just, he's like, out of the people that I have spoken to from these shows, especially Big Brother in particular, he seemed quite level-headed, because usually they go one way or another. Usually it's like they go in a sense of, if they get hate, everything that the people said about them is just because they're a hater and it's all wrong. And then they'll just gravitate to these fans who only sing their praises. So he seems like he's pretty open to listening to good and bad and doing some self-evaluation. And basically the things that he thinks are correct, because he did say some of the things that people said are things that he just didn't realize about himself. He's willing to change those behaviors, and the things that people are just talking hot air, basically, he's just going to let them do them, and they're entitled to their opinion. Yeah, it definitely was. It definitely was. It definitely was. So I had a great conversation with him and James from Survivor. I think 2 seasons ago, James was on Survivor, the James that I'm talking about. I spoke to Katora. I don't think I have put up that picture yet, if I'm not mistaken. But I spoke to Katora. That's one of the pictures. Y'all remember Katora, the #1 Bruce hater. So whenever I talk to these people, I always tell them the truth. I'm not like, oh my God, I'm your biggest fan. I tell them exactly how I felt about them before, during, and after. So I told her, I was like, you know what? When I first started watching this show, this season, your season. I was like, why does she keep coming for my guy Bruce? I am a Bruce fan. She was like, oh, the people that she was with, she was like, did you hear what this guy just said? Oh, this is the no Bruce zone over here. And I was like, can I finish? Can I finish my sentence, please? She was not letting me finish my sentence. The theatrics went on for a good 2 to 3 minutes of her being like, this is the no Bruce zone. You stand over there, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, can I finish my sentence? Can I please finish what I was saying? And eventually, when she was done doing all that, she let me finish what I was saying. And I was like, at first, I was like, why does she not like my guy Bruce like that? And then I was like, but after a while, I could see that Bruce was feeling himself too much. Bruce was getting too arrogant. And I could see how he could be annoying to y'all on the island. And she was like, you can see it, but he got a good edit. She was like, you got a good edit. If you were actually there with us on the island, she was like, Bruce was insufferable. And that's why we were all happy when he got out. So that was that, you know. So I said, you know, good job making it as far as you did. I'm a fan. And, you know, that was basically the essence of that conversation. It wasn't very long. The first person I actually saw when I got in there was Phil. And I was looking at Phil from the Challenge Squid Game. And I was looking at him for the longest. I was like, who is this guy? And I saw people speaking to him. And I was like, he looks so familiar. Couldn't figure it out. And then I walk up to him and I was like, aren't you the guy from Squid Game? He was like, he was laughing. And I was like, no offense. I was like, there's 456 of y'all. And he said, oh no, I totally get it. It happens all the time. People look at me and think I look familiar, but they're not exactly sure where I'm familiar from. So we had kind of a funny conversation. Me, him, and a few other guys that were standing around him. I asked him about May and the rock, paper, scissors thing, and if she got a good edit for that, or if she was just significantly better than him at it. And he was like, oh no, she beat me like 80% of those, and she deserved to win. And then somebody said, is it true that she has not received her money yet? And he was like, I'm not going to say that it's true or that it's not true, but he just kind of gave a look. And he's like, I'm not going to say that it's not true. So that's kind of crazy if she hasn't received her money yet, but that's neither here nor there. I heard things about the amount of time it took for the winners to receive their money on, what's it called? The Circle. So some shows, Netflix competition shows seem to be a little bit slower with delivering the money. Oh, here's this guy. I mean, Jam Jam. I mean, I've seen him a few times now. He comes to all these New York events. He was the winner of last season. Of course, we got Wendell here. Wendell's always a cool guy. Oh, I saw Big D was there. Oh, Johnny Fairplay. I think I mentioned him at the beginning. I saw Johnny Fairplay. He's pretty funny. He's pretty sarcastic. I was asking him about what he thought about Bobby Light, and he was like, Bobby Light is the dumbest reality show competition player I've ever seen in my life. And he was like, I don't care if you tell him this. I don't care if he sees this or hears this, because I told him to his face. He was like, why in the world would you throw yourself into an elimination in any game when you don't have to, and that's not any kind of requirement of the game? He was like, he didn't really care about the money. He didn't really care about winning. He just wanted to get himself on his next show, which he is on. So that was that. Johnny Fairplay was pretty funny, and that's pretty much it. Aside from that, I don't really have tea this time around because I think there was less show people than I usually see at these things. And even if there was, I don't know a lot of Survivor people. I happen to know a lot of Survivor people at the last one because it was a lot of Survivor people from the last 2 seasons. And this is I think my 5th season that I've watched of Survivor. So it just happened to be all the recent people. And I didn't see any recent people from recent seasons. I might get a chance to, though, because they're going to have the Survivor finale party in May. I might go for that. But that's it. That was my time over there. It was pretty fun. I didn't stay till 1, so it wasn't super, super fun. Because when it's extra fun, I stay till it closes. But I probably got there 10 minutes to 8, 5 minutes to 8, and then I left 10:30. So I was there about 2.5 hours. It was also a Wednesday, work the next day. But that was that. So everyone I met there was pretty cool. Jared was really cool and down to earth. Sari, like I said, was very nice. I mean, not that I expected her to be mean, but she was exceptionally nice. So I was a little bit surprised by that. Everyone else was pretty much how I expected them to be. I didn't really have any expectations, and I had a good time. So that's it for my Survivor premiere party recap. I guess the next thing that I have on deck will probably be the challenge reunion when they air the second part of the reunion. I think I'm probably not even going to do something. If I recap the final itself, I might just make that a part of the overall. I'll combine it with the reunion recap. And then we have 1 episode left of the Traitors. I'm 2 episodes behind. So that might end up getting combined. The last 3 episodes, I might put all those together. And I'm not covering Big Brother Canada. Big Brother Canada starts tomorrow, I've heard. But I've also heard that there's no live feeds. And I said, if there's no live feeds, I will not be watching. I shouldn't say I won't be watching. It's a possibility that I might watch once a week or something, but I'm definitely not covering it because Big Brother to me just is not Big Brother without live feeds. And thanks for all your support. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content. Thank you.